We're live. Cooking in our jammies. These are actually legit my favorite jammies that I wear all the time. Thank you, mother-in-law. Look at them. Super comfy.
Guys, okay. It's been a crazy morning. Kind of like every morning is crazy these days.
Yep.
But we're getting things started. Today is fresh herbs and random greens around the house that you need to use up situation.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna go with what I have received in a couple of my box deliveries. Some mint I bought from the Asian market, which when you purchase it comes in like the most enormous quantities, as opposed to buying at Whole Foods when you get like this much for $10. This is like all of the mint for $1 at the Asian supermarket. So
This is a bouquet of, what is it? Carrot tops?
carrot greens.
Carrot greens.
We've been experimenting. This part, not so delicious. This part, great to use.
Yeah.
So, a couple things we're going to go over today. We are going to make a simple syrup with rosemary, which is great for cocktails. I'm doing that first in the hopes that we can get that ready in time for me to have an old-fashioned while we are still talking to you.
Yes.
It may be 11 in the morning, but hey, we're in quarantine. Then...
Quarantine definitely equals day drinking.
Exactly. What else we're gonna make? We're gonna make a mint butter. So you can use mint butter in desserts. There's probably, you could use it in anything you like, really. But Mel's gonna make shortbread.
I'm gonna go for a mint shortbread today. You're not gonna get to see it in the live demo because the butter needs to cool. But we'll post pictures and all the recipe details and everything.
That's right. We are now downloading the live shows, putting them on YouTube so you can watch them later. And also we're going to put them on our website, foodwastefeast.com. With all the recipes and details so you can come back later and find things and not have to listen to exactly what we're saying. Because, you might be working at home, you might be having your kids on, you might want to mute us. It's fine. We're not insulted. And... okay, we're also going to make one of my favorite hero recipes, a savory bread pudding. If you have not had a savory bread pudding before, it's kind of like a bread casserole. Sometimes they're called a strata. It's basically old bread, stale bread, frozen bread. You can do it with croissants. You can do it with bagels. You can do it with
brioche.
You can do it with anything you like. I've made sweet versions with donuts. I have made savory versions with, anything you've got. We're going to toss a bunch of greens in there and herbs. And the last thing we're going to make is a green herb oil that uses up fresh herbs that we're going to put on these noodles.
Yum.
You can also put them on rice. You can do whatever you want with them. So there's tons of things that you can do with fresh herbs, and we're going to show you some of them. So let's start with the simple syrup.
Yes.
Cocktails.
So hang on, I got to switch this around. All right. Hi, Joanne. My dearest, oldest friend from school has just joined us, who is also a wonderful chef. And she was a person who got me into cooking, and we went to culinary school together at the age of 16.
That's amazing.
I know. So hi, George. I miss you.
Hi, Joe. So nice to meet you. Virtually. All right, guys. So simple syrup is... if you go to a coffee shop and you are trying to sweeten your drink, they sometimes have a little jar of simple syrup, which is just a sugar syrup, so you don't have to wait for your sugar to dissolve. They are great for sweetening your morning drinks as well as your cocktails. We try to always have some around because we drink a lot of cocktails. So simple syrups are super easy. It is a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water. So,
super simple.
we are going to toss in some rosemary.
Oh, I think that is
Stop the timer.
Right.
From the enormous bush that my mother got me, that is now almost 100% dead. This is showing my skill in the arena of keeping things alive.
Apologies.
My children are alive, that's the most important part, but my plants are struggling. Actually, if you hold on there, here, come see this sugar syrup while I get the rosemary plant just to show you.
Ooh, sorry about the dodgy camera work. I'm trying to navigate some rice here on the side. And look at...
I mean,
I mean,
sorry, Mom.
poor Rosemary.
There's like,
It's
a tiny bit of green in there. Anyway, it looks...
There's not many things you're not good at, but gardening is
looks like a
definitely the
Christmas tree.
Yep.
But
yep.
it still smells delicious, and I'm just going to call it dried rosemary. So what I'm going to do is, this is that 1-to-1 ratio of sugar to water. I'm going to turn it up, and I'm just going to go like that. It's not really a science here. I'm sure someone else has some scientific thoughts. I see my sister Irene here. So
She is. Irene's here. Grandma's here.
guys, Irene is my younger sister. She runs the May May restaurant in Boston. She is the one who has real cooking experience. I cook a lot at home, but she's the one who runs the restaurant, and so she will probably interject with some opinions.
I love what she's doing about trying to, in this crazy situation that we're in right now, trying to help her staff. She posted the open letter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to...
Lots of stuff going on with restaurants these days, obviously. But one of the things she's trying to do is get groceries to people in the community who need it. Actually, they just got a back order delivery of bulk toilet paper. So anyone in Boston, if you are struggling, reach out. So... Anyway, if you want to know what's going on from the perspective of an independent restaurant at this time, May May Boston, you should follow them, find out what's going on. Irene's been doing a lot to help out her staff, and it's really cool and inspiring. So,
I think she needs a cape. She should have a cape.
we all need capes.
If there are any people out there looking for something to sew in this, this time.
This insane time.
Yeah.
So,
Irene needs a cape.
Come on over here, guys. I'm just going to show you. This looks brown and kind of unpleasant looking, but it is going to be delicious. You just basically want to heat it until the sugar dissolves, and then that's kind of it. So that's going to be our simple
Excellent.
syrup. And we are also going to do another stovetop herb thing, which is a mint butter.
Yes,
So,
we are.
I'm going to take over here. Mel's going to get started. I'm going to give you a little tour of my kitchen.
So, 1 stick of butter, half a cup to half a cup of coarsely chopped mint. Simple as that. So, let's just get this melted down. And
Basically,
cut it up.
we're gonna just let this melt, and we'll show you some other things while we do this, but let the butter melt, let it kind of hang out a little while, and you let the mint oils infuse the butter. It just takes a couple minutes, really. It's you'll be able to smell it. It's gonna be really minty in here. I wish you guys could smell
2
it.
to 3 minutes probably in the butter once it's melted, and then we're gonna let it cool off a little bit, and then we're gonna strain it. So all this is not gonna be in there. It's just all gonna be, the butter's gonna be infused with flavor.
And it's going to be awesome. So basically, you could make we're going to make a minty shortbread. You could make a minty cookie. You could make a minty cake, or like a banana, I don't know, minty banana bread. Is that kind of weird? I don't know.
Anything that you use butter with that you think mint would go with.
Exactly.
It really is as simple as that.
So that is just hanging out. You can come over here and look at our brown simple syrup, but it's going to taste delicious. I'm going to mix it with some rye and make an old-fashioned. So the best one that we've found with a rosemary simple syrup is an infused apple old-fashioned. So I think this is from the Death & Co. cookbook, or cocktail book rather, and it's you put apples and let them infuse into your famous grouse, and just let it hang out for a couple days, and you get this amazing apple infused spirit that you can then use to make old fashions with flavored simple syrups, and it's super delicious.
I can confirm that is a delicious cocktail. Leo made those for us a couple weeks ago, and they're amazing. A little bit potent.
Quite potent.
Yes.
I think we can all agree that's what we need these days. So.
Butter. And ratio is 1-to-1, so super simple, and you can break it down to however much ingredients you happen to have at home. 2 to 3 minutes, and just let this butter take on. The mint's just going to release all of its oils and flavors in there. Yum.
And so it's going to be hard for you to see, but the sugar has dissolved in our simple syrup. So I'm going to turn that off and we'll let that cool. And we're going to
I'm going to give this
watch
about another
this.
2 minutes, I think. And then this will also be ready to start cooling.
If you're just joining us, we're making mint butter. We're going to let the oils infuse the butter. That's starting to smell awesome. We've got tons of fresh mint. And actually, while we do that, I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I've been doing with the fresh mint. So, check this out. This is mint that I dried in the microwave. What? How cool is that? So this is a tip from this awesome book that I really recommend for anybody who is interested in minimizing their waste. That's the mint that we have. It's starting to look a little sad, but it's okay because we're going to save it. Waste-Free Kitchen Handbook. Dana Gunders, I believe, used to be a scientist at the NRDC, the National Resources Defense Council, and she has awesome tips for saving stuff in your house, including drying fresh herbs in the microwave. So what you do is you take a paper towel, you lay out your leaves, you cover it with another paper towel, and then you put it in the microwave for, say, 30 seconds at a time, and you just check it in between, see how it is looking, make sure that it's dry and the moisture is gone, and then you can save your mint leaves for something in the future.
Does anybody have a use for mint stalks? We have these mint stalks. We have not really looked into what we could use them for yet. I'm sure there's something.
We're going to maybe test them with a mint butter at some point and see if they work or if they're bitter or anything. But a lot of the times you can't really use the stalks. It happens. This is carrot greens. We're going to use these tops, but not the greens. So Mel also made these frozen olive oil herb
Lego men.
Yeah, that's the ice in our house these days.
This version is the herb blended and then mixed with the oil. So there's a bit of emulsifying going on there, and they're pretty solid. And this is cilantro.
Try to pop one out. Let's see how it's looking.
All right.
Lego man emerges, Han Solo style.
Yes.
Whoa, that's cool. So basically, you could use this to start any of your cooking.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a stew or a soup and you're sauteing onions in butter, just use one of these little butter guys.
Chuck it on your rice. Chuck it in fry a savory pancake with it.
Yes. Ooh, you could cook your eggs in Lego Man Han Solo.
Yes.
Frozen goodness.
This version, it's just I've just chopped it.
Chopped cilantro
and then covered
mint.
with olive oil.
Yeah, so parsley, basil, tarragon, you got a bunch of it lying around. You know you're not going to use it when it's fresh. Mix it up with olive oil or butter. Put it in a little ice cube tray or a Madeleine tray if that's what you have around, and then use it to start off your food. It's you can pop them out, put them in a little plastic bag, and save them in the freezer, and then they're ready for you to start cooking. Ooh, you could chuck it into a tomato sauce. That would be delicious.
Yes.
Yum. So there's lots of options there, and it is great for just extending the life of those herbs that you've got sitting around. So
there's also a lot of herbs.
We have two British American households here, so herbs or herbs. You'll hear both.
But you can regrow a lot of herbs. So just if you have a big bunch of basil, herb, just trim the end off. Chuck it in a jar of water, put it on your windowsill, and the roots will regrow.
Speaking of which, we've got a celery going, which is super cool, you guys. I've never managed to do this before, as you can see by my amazing looking rosemary plant that is on the struggle bus.
This was me, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. Mel's been in charge of this one, so that's why it's looking better.
Refresh the water while we're here, and I remember. And the mint,
you can see
mint's not started taking any root yet.
See all that growth on the top from the cutting part of the celery?
It has. Look at this one.
What's grown.
Look.
Oh, look, little roots.
Little roots are coming.
Little roots.
See?
Don't know if that's gonna... What are we gonna do with that? Plant it?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll let the roots grow more, get bigger and stronger, and then we can chuck it in the soil.
Mel's in charge of that.
Yeah.
Not me.
Never-ending cocktail ingredients
All right.
available. Yes, I will take charge of that for sure.
Irene's laughing at me because I kill all the plants. You know what? It's fine. As long as my children are alive, my plants don't need to make it.
All right.
Okay, moving on. Mel is going to make an herb oil that is going to go on these delicious soba noodles that I have been wanting to eat for
we're also going to make
this entire time.
Green rice.
Ooh, yeah.
With that. So,
You want to so, a quick thing to talk about is how to cook rice on the stove. Which is funny because
I can't.
both of us grew up with rice cookers, so then moved to our own houses and realized either you buy a rice cooker, which I'm kind of anti single-use appliances, although rice cookers might be an exception. But anyway, rice on the stovetop is super easy. It is, I use the ratio of, for kind of a regular white medium grain rice, 1 cup of rice, 1.5 cups water, bring it to a boil on the stove, cover it, reduce the heat to low, and cook for 15 minutes. You want to stir it to get out all the clumps. When you first put it in, stir it. When you turn down the heat after the boil, and then at the end. Easy peasy. So now we are going to make this herb oil. Now, do you remember the ratios off the top of your head? Or are you just going to wing it?
Yeah, it's 1 for 1.
Okay. Everything so far has been 1 for 1. And just as a reminder, guys, we're going to put all of the details on our website, foodwastefeast.com, after this.
As you can see, I'm not measuring this though.
Yeah, you don't need
but
to.
But I've got cilantro in here, I've got mint, and I've got some carrot tops. Because that's just what we have. And so these will all work wonderfully. Excuse the noise. Whoa.
Irene is adding that you can also just cook rice like pasta. That's the Cassie Pima method. She is the chef at Sarma, one of the best restaurants in Boston. If you have ever been there, you will know that it is amazing, and anything she says can be trusted. So if you are scared of cooking rice, just boil it and drain it. So this is just fresh herbs and oil.
That's it.
That's
so
it.
simple. All right.
And we
All right.
are going to put this.
Sorry. So sorry. I mean, doesn't everybody love Matthew McConaughey?
Everybody does. Who doesn't? Tim does. He's saying that he particularly loves Matthew McConaughey. Herb oil. We're gonna make green rice and green pasta.
Okay.
Great way to just use up any random herbs you have. You can mix and match them. You can put.
And just brighten it up. Look how vibrant it is.
It's gonna be delicious. So Mel is grabbing the rice that we made, and we also have these soba noodles cooked here. It's these soba noodles have been cooked and chilled, and then we toss them with a little bit of sesame oil, so they are smelling delicious, and I want to eat them right now. And the basic idea here is super simple. You just make this herb oil. You really don't even have to measure, and then you just mix it with whatever you want to. So green rice here is gonna need some salt because everything is delicious with salt. Mix it all up. Green rice. It's like what's the rice? You know, I think they do a cilantro rice at Chipotle. This is your own healthy version at home that you have made with whatever random greens you have around, and
because no one's going to Chipotle right now.
Yep. Yes. This is making me hungry.
Yum.
This is making Irene hungry. We are
I am gonna fry an egg and put it on top of this.
Yes.
Because I do that with a lot of food.
Yes. Our general rule in this house is put an egg on it.
Yeah.
Put a fried egg on it.
I really want to sing the Beyonce song right now, but I know how bad my singing voice is, so I'm going to spare the good people at home. Especially because I love my friends. I want to remain my friends.
Come for the food tips, stay for the Beyonce singing. Oh yeah,
So-
that looks delicious. Oh my gosh.
So good.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yep. Now we're gonna do the same
And
with the nudes. The soba nudes. Joe, is this Joe here? Joe says, please don't sing, Mel.
I think Joanne was, when we were younger, told me, Mel, you have the worst singing voice that I have ever heard in my entire life. So,
Well,
you know,
has she heard Leo? Has she heard your brother,
I'm,
my husband?
I'm worse than Leo. I am actually worse than Leo.
We'll need to have a quarantine karaoke face-off, and then we'll decide who's the worst.
The only person worse than me, there's two people. Christian, my younger brother, and my dad. They are worse.
Finners is saying, please sing.
You guys are just bored at home. Don't trust me.
Searching for any type of entertainment these days.
Maybe if these videos weren't now going to YouTube.
If they were live and then disappearing forever, then we could catch the elusive Mel singer.
That's it. That's all you're getting.
Okay, guys. Green noodles. Delicious. It's like pesto pasta, but without the expensive herbs, without the expensive pine nuts, without the expensive Parmesan. You can just put it on your pasta. You can put it on your rice.
So good.
You can put an egg on it. It's delicious.
So good.
So,
Sorry, I'm probably
we're gonna
supposed
just
to
pause. No.
Excellent.
Gotta make
So
sure it's good.
So good. Okay.
Next up, we are going to make one of my favorite recipes. It is a
Hero
recipe, which is what we call the recipes where you can really just put anything that you like in them. And it is a savory bread pudding. So, Mel is going to take over here. I'm going to
Thank
walk
you
over
very
there.
much.
And ta-da!
Woo!
All right. I know you can't take your eyes off my pajamas, but we are going to talk now about savory bread puddings. So, this is a focaccia that we made a month ago. It turned out okay. It wasn't amazing, but don't throw things out just because they're not perfect. There are often other uses for them. We cut them up, we put them in a bag, this reusable freezer bag, and popped it in the freezer. And now we have them for lots of things. So you can turn them into focaccia croutons. You could turn them into focaccia breadcrumbs. You can make them into a savory bread pudding.
Quick question. Do you,
I'm gonna pause for
Irene's asking, do you have any of your old a cappella recordings? Did you have old a cappella recordings?
This is
am
a
I-
side topic.
Am I learning something
are going
new?
To move back to the bread pudding here.
Okay.
So
We'll be talking about this later.
So we're gonna have our karaoke face off of the worst singer in the house, and that's gonna happen at some time. Maybe if you're lucky, we'll stream it live.
It's definitely going to be me.
So savory bread pudding. What I usually do is 4 cups of milk, or a combination of milk and cream, depending on what you have, 2 eggs, and 8 cups of bread. We didn't have exactly 4 cups of milk, so I just scaled it down a little bit. This is one of those recipes it's fluid. It's fine if you don't have all these things. And what you do is start off by mixing all of the milk, bread, and eggs, and some salt and pepper in a bowl. And what happens is it starts off with just bread chunks in the liquid, and now they kind of soak them up and become delicious. I mean, you don't want to eat it right now, not that kind of delicious, but it will be delicious. So I'm just gonna add a bit more pepper, and Mel was kind enough to saute some onions,
Onion and garlic in there.
shred some cheese,
Yeah.
and saute some veggies.
So in here we have asparagus. We have North Carolina collards. And I even used the stalks. You can see the stalks in there of the North Carolina collards.
Nice.
You just have to cut them up and give them a little extra cooking time, and they are good. I don't know if you guys... Did you already talk about this? This is how you should be storing asparagus. If anyone's not sure.
That's also how we're storing our cilantro, and it's like, you know, a beautiful
And basil.
beautiful
Basil.
flower pot. The one thing about basil which is different is that it is too cold in the fridge for them.
Yeah.
So you want to do that on the counter. But the rest of those fresh herbs you want to be storing in the fridge in water, and they will last you a nice long time. Okay. So, do we put carrot greens in here? Let's put some carrot greens in.
No, I did not.
Why not?
Yeah, chuck them in.
So as we were saying, lots of things can go in the savory bread pudding. The best is just going for your fridge, pulling out all the cooked vegetables and just chucking them in. It is, I would say, unscientific. I've done everything from sweet potatoes to, meats too. If you have
Bacon,
salami, bacon, sausage. What else? Like literally any cooked vegetable.
Right.
Some raw vegetables, herbs. You can. It's great with a lot of allium. So the allium family is like the onion family. Leeks, scallions, onions, shallots, shallots. All of those are delicious if you saute them and mix them up in here. Gives a lot of flavor.
Yum.
So yeah, this is gonna be super delicious. Oh, this is also good for any kind of cheese.
Yes.
So let's say you had a party, not now, because people are not having parties these days, but when the world returns to normal and you can have a party and you make a beautiful cheese board and you have all these different kinds of cheese, and at the end of the night you have all these little bits and bobs of different kinds of cheese. The next morning, you can make a savory bread pudding to use up all the different kinds of cheese and never throw out all those delicious cheese bits, because that would be so sad.
Wow.
So check that out. Basically, you could add more to this. You can have less, but you just want kind of a good-looking mix of all these things.
Yum.
Then you have a lightly greased pan.
Actually, just as you were saying this, I was thinking the same thing as Irene. We can have a cheese board for 1 or 2. I'm definitely not against that.
That is true. No judgment on the cheese board for 1.
I think your brother Andy's got a big cheese board for 1 going.
I think so. Our brother Andy opened Flora's Wine Bar like 2 weeks ago, and of course this had to shut because of the pandemic. And so anyone who is watching from Boston, if you get a chance to go to Flora's Wine Bar when they reopen, show them some love. He actually made a cheese sauce with all the leftover cheese that he had, and it looked really good. I was sad I was not there. So,
Yeah.
if you have extra cheese, you can toss it on top now. But we're just going to chuck it into the oven. It's at 350. And you want to cook it until it's golden brown and puffy delicious on top. Probably 50 minutes or so. I'll set a timer. But you kind of just want to keep an eye on it towards the end to make sure that it is puffed up, golden brown, awesome.
Sweet.
So, I think.
Oh, sorry for that view, that temporary view.
We are going to make a cocktail. I'm going to make a cocktail.
Oh, we're going to do that?
We're going to make a cocktail.
Oh my gosh.
So I am not the cocktail person in this family. My husband Leo is the cocktail person, but he has given me instructions, and I am going to make a rosemary simple syrup old fashioned.
Ooh.
Let's see how this goes.
I mean, if you've just tuned in, Mama Seagull, my sister-in-law, you tuned in at exactly the right time. We are making a cocktail. So,
bar supplies. Okay, so there are great cocktails that you can make with food waste. We have right now white rum and pineapples hanging out in our dining room, making pineapple infused rum, which you can then mix with a coconut cream. I'm gonna actually show you guys what this looks like. It's called Coco Lopez.
sorry, we're doing it.
We're just
There we go.
All right, so this mixed with the pineapple infused white rum makes an amazing pina colada substitute.
Yum.
It's delicious. You can also infuse leftover apples. If they're bruised, it's fine. You can use the cores. You use the whole apple. Chop it all up. Put it in something like Famous Grouse and let that hang out. And then you have apple infused spirits for making cocktails. And you can also, another one we've done is Snap Pea Gin. A lot of these are from the Death & Co. cocktail book, which is a bar in New York. Snap Pea Gin, you think is really, really weird. It's one of the most delicious cocktails I've ever had. So we are now going to use the rosemary simple syrup and make an old-fashioned.
Yay.
So
Now this is my kind of cooking demo.
I know. I'm going to strain
Excuse
out
me.
this simple syrup. You're just
Sorry.
gonna walk with me. Gonna find a strainer. Gonna walk back with me. This is gonna be a little messy right now,
I'm
but
just gonna turn this around.
yeah, let's
Hang
turn
on.
it
All right.
Okay,
No.
there we go.
Hey, there we go.
So, straining our simple syrup. You can do this with a lot of different herbs. A mint simple syrup is awesome to have around for your cocktails. A mint simple syrup is also great for coffee.
Ooh.
Really good minty coffee with a little bit of cream. It's so good.
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. There's so many different things that you can do.
Didn't think about that.
So, Leo's instructions were 2 ounces of this rye. This was the only one we happened to have around. Leo did dry January, and so we got rid of all of our alcohol, by which I mean gave it to Mel. Now
Yes.
Mel has a fancy bottle.
Now I have copious amounts of alcohol in my house.
It was like 50 bottles.
Yes,
He's
literally.
a huge cocktail nerd and gave me precise instructions about the amount of ice and stirring.
Stir for 30 seconds.
Stir for 30 seconds. It was like, well, the shape of our ice, blah, 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 blah. I concentrate on the food in the house. He concentrates on the cocktails. But I'm going to go with his instructions, which were 1/2 ounce of simple. So, 1/2 ounce of simple, 2 ounces of your spirit. We've got this basement barrel-aged bitters.
Ooh.
A couple of dashes of bitters. That might have been a lot. So, we're going to get some ice.
Here's what we're using. Redemption rye. And what's this? Now, we all know that 30 seconds would be singing happy birthday 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all know we're supposed to wash our hands for
Wash your
20
hands.
seconds.
I've already lost count.
Yeah.
So Leo said the rule is if it's got fruit juice in it, so I guess that would probably include like lemon juice, then you would want to shake it. But if it doesn't, then you stir it. So that's a nice rule to remember.
Yeah.
And trying to think of other. We've made a basil syrup, and that made really good cocktails. That would be really good with gin. And probably tarragon, although I don't love tarragon.
Yeah.
Basically, I feel like a lot
quite
of
strong.
A lot of fresh herbs would be great in a simple syrup, and then you can put it in any cocktail that you like. So that seemed like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I think so.
I should probably strain that. Again, not the cocktail expert here, but we do have many items for the making of cocktails in the house. All right. Okay, guys.
That is delicious.
Now, if that's not a good food waste tip, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's really good. I should old fashions with my dead rosemary tree. You can see.
Yes, that is a win.
This became this. Before lunch, cocktails, a rosemary old fashioned. Feeling pretty good about this.
Yes.
You have given so much to me.
Thank you, Rosemary.
Guys, we talked today about rosemary simple syrup. So any syrup, any herb in a syrup, 1-to-1 ratio of sugar to water. We talked about mint butter. So again, it was half a stick of butter to half a cup. No, 1 stick of butter.
1 stick of butter. Yep, half a cup.
To half a cup of chopped mint. And
Yeah.
then you can use that mint butter in shortbread or cookies or anything else you want to use butter for. You can chill it in the fridge and then use it the way that you would to cream butter and sugar together, or you can use the melted butter. And then we made the herb oil, which is any fresh herb with a little bit of salt, whizzed in oil. You can make it into rice. I'm just gonna keep drinking while we do this.
Yeah, look at that. I love how vibrant it is.
We're also
Here's
gonna
your
eat
green
some
rice.
noodles.
We're gonna eat noodles. We're gonna drink cocktails.
And lastly, we put carrot greens, asparagus. You can do this with any fresh herbs, scallions, onions. We put it all with cheese and milk and eggs into a savory bread pudding, which is going in the oven.
Shall we see if we
Now,
can see
you
it?
wanna
Shall we
take a
have a little
peek?
look?
That's gonna be so good.
And pictures and recipes will follow, all the details. Thank
Cheers,
you
guys.
for joining us today. Bye.
Bye.
Now I always get this. Bye.